Before I speak in a meeting, or send that risky message, or stand up for myself at home. Do I go quiet? Do I crack a joke? Or do I say what I really feel? I'm Akash, trying to make astrology simple for you. Today I want to talk about the third house in Vedic astrology. This house is all about my voice, my courage, my guts, and my relationship with siblings and close relatives. If the sixth house was my fight-back muscle, then the third house is my speak-up muscle. What is the third house, in simple words? In astrology books, you'll read that the third house rules voice and communication, courage and valor, siblings and close relatives, effort and initiative. In real life, I feel it every time I ask myself, will I stay silent here, or will I take a step and speak or act? It's less about what life throws at me, and more about how boldly I respond. Voice, how I express myself. I see my third house in action in small daily moments. I'm in a team meeting. I have an idea that could actually help, but nobody has said it yet. My heart beats a little faster. One part of me says, leave it, don't risk it. What if they think it's stupid? Another part whispers, just say it. You might be the only one thinking this. If my third house is strong inside me, that second voice wins. I raise my hand or simply speak. Can I suggest something? And once I start talking, I feel my confidence grow. If my third house is weak in how I'm living, I might overthink, stay quiet, later come home and replay the whole meeting in my head saying, I should have spoken. Why didn't I? The third house is not just about having a voice, it's about using it. I also see it in family WhatsApp groups. A sensitive topic comes up. Money, marriage, parents' health. Do I just send emojis and jokes? Or do I sometimes type, listen, I think we seriously need to plan this. That small shift from passive to participating, that's pure third house energy. Courage and valor, my everyday bravery. When we hear courage or valor, we think of big heroic acts. But the third house is about quiet, everyday bravery. For me, it shows up like this. Booking that first solo train or flight trip, even if I'm nervous. Saying no to something that everyone expects me to say yes to. Starting a side project or hobby, even if people might laugh at it. Walking away from a toxic conversation instead of staying to look nice. It's that moment when my fear says, stay where you are, it's safer. And my courage says, take at least one small step forward. For example, I've always wanted to learn something new. Say a language, music, or a skill. The third house is there when I finally stop dreaming and actually sign up for the class, show up on day one, and sit there like a beginner, not worrying about how I look. It's less about, I'm not scared, and more about, okay, I'm scared, but I'll do it anyway. Siblings and close relatives, my first team. The third house also speaks about my relationship with siblings and close cousins, the people who are often my first friends, first rivals, first teammates. I picture simple scenes. I'm sharing a room with my brother or sister, fighting over the fan direction or TV remote. We're growing up, borrowing each other's clothes, covering for each other when parents ask questions. As adults, we're in a cousin group chat, pulling each other's leg, but also sharing real worries. Here, the third house asks, do I feel my siblings are my allies, or mostly my competitors? When I really need help, moving house, filling a form, talking to parents about something serious, can I call them? Do we only talk at weddings and functions, or do we have a real emotional bridge? Even when there are no siblings, this house often reflects close cousins or friends who feel like brothers, sisters, the people I grew up with, sharing tiffin, secrets, and scoldings. The third house shows whether those bonds become a support system or just a contact list. Effort and initiative. Do I wait or do I start? A big part of the third house is my initiative, my willingness to put in effort. I feel it on days when I have a plan in my head. I should start walking in the mornings. I should make that phone call. I should update my CV. I should talk to my boss about a new role. Hours pass. I scroll on my phone, watch reels, think some more. By night, nothing has moved. In that gap between thinking and doing, the third house sits and watches me. A strong third house attitude says, "Okay, overthinking done. Now pick one small action and just do it." Send the email. Make the call. Write the first page. Walk the first kilometer. It's not about big overnight changes. It's about that first step, taken again and again, until effort becomes a habit. A few questions I ask myself. When I look at my own third house, I like to pause and ask, when it's time to speak, do I become invisible or do I show up? When I'm scared, do I wait for life to push me or do I take one small step on my own? With my siblings and close relatives, am I building a bridge or a distance? How many of my ideas stay in my mind and how many actually reach the real world? Because that's the real gift of the third bhava. It doesn't promise a life without fear. It teaches me how to move with fear, to express myself, to stand beside my people, and to slowly become the kind of person who acts, not just imagines. Once I started understanding my own third house, I noticed something small but powerful. Every time I chose to send the message, make the call, speak the sentence, take the first step, my world became just a little bigger, and my fear became just a little smaller. If you want to see what your third house says about your voice, your courage, and your bond with your siblings, visit astrology.com for instant astrology.